Find the area under the standard normal curve that lies to the left of z equals 0.42. So this is kind of similar to some things that we did in chapter 3. So a little bit of this will look similar to something you've already seen before. So let's draw out a picture to get an idea of what we were working with. So what we have our bell curve. And on this curve, in the middle, was our mean. When we're working with z-scores, we have the standard normal curve. So remember before, if we had two different distributions, we had to standardize it so that we could compare. We were working with race car drivers who were competing in two different races, or comparing males and females and their heights, and we wanted to say who was relatively taller, or which baby weighed relatively less or more. We would convert them to z-scores. So we're looking at the same curve. So in the middle was the mean, or in the case of z-scores, 0. So I'm going to put a little z here to remind me that I'm working with z-scores. And then we went over 1, 2, 3 standard deviations, which is z-scores of 1, 2, and 3, and then negative. So we're below the mean, which gives us negative z-scores. And here we're looking at the area, which is equivalent to saying the probability that lies to the left of 0.42. So we're looking at the left of 0.42 here. So 0.42 is somewhere about right here. And we want this area to the left. So we're looking at all of this area. Right. So essentially we're looking at the probability that z is less than 0.42. Right. So the same equivalent statement there. Right. And we're working with continuous random variables, so it's very unlikely that our probability would be that we would land on that exact value. Very unlikely. So in fact, the probability that z is less than or equal to that value is the same thing. So now what we can do is use StatCrunch to find the value. We know it should roughly be approximately slightly over 0.5 since we're looking at over half of our picture here. So what we can do, working with the standard normal curve, is use the normal calculator. So we're going to go to Stat, Calculators, and then Normal. We're going to put out our mean. So to remember with z-scores, our mean is 0. Standard deviation is 1. You'll notice that's the default. When you hit here for the drop-down menu, there's only two options, less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. So even though we're looking at less than, we're looking at less than or equal to. And then we're going to put in our value of 0.42. And then we're going to hit compute. So our area here is approximately equal to 0.6628. That's the area under the curve that lies to the left of z equals 0.42.